It is, there we have it, 7 p.m. live right here on Facebook. YSS Let's Talk Live. We are live. And I have a really special guest with me. So I'd like to say a special welcome to Kalli Kennel. Kalli, welcome.
Hi, thanks Rusty for having me tonight.
Yeah, glad to have you. And Kalli works for YSS, the same agency that I work for, hence the YSS Let's Talk. And I've got to say congratulations to you, Kalli. Congratulations to all of YSS because something exciting has just been announced. Am I allowed to announce this? I think because it literally just, okay, good, because it just came out. Via the Ames Tribune, Best of Story County, not in one, not in two, not in three, in three categories, I guess you would say, that we've been the best. So the best nonprofit is YSS, number 2 for community presence, number 3 for the best boss and manager, which we actually had her on a YSS Let's Talk just recently, Terry Johansson. Phenomenal. So again, just announced, congratulations to all of YSS. 350 employees, Kalli? I mean, you've been around about as long with YSS as I have. So it's close to 400, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, Marshalltown, Ames, Boone County, Story County, Des Moines, our Iowa Homeless Youth Center. I could not be more proud to be a part of an organization that has such a reach and in so many different areas. One of my passions is foster youth and foster youth alumni, and we work with AMP, Achieving Maximum Potential, which is the youth alumni group. The mentoring program, don't want to steal your thunder here, but Teen Club and Kids Club, which we're going to be talking about in just a second. I mean, all of the mental health services, such a wide array, but all ultimately community focused and community serving. So without further ado, Ms. Kalli Kennel, again, is the guest tonight with YSS Let's Talk. And Kalli, you graduated from Iowa State University, and with a degree in child, adult, and family services. I did not know that. And we work even in the same department. Shame on me.
Me too, yes.
So Kalli and I both, and this is exciting to be able to talk with one of my close colleagues. We work under a program called CYFD, which is Children, Youth, and Family Development. And under that program, I work in prevention. And so Kalli and I, we don't really share an office, but you're right down. You actually get a cooler office than I do.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, look at you admit it. Yep, I do.
That's me.
How I roll. Yeah. So, and Kalli is absolutely awesome. I had the first chance to work with her during a summer program, one-on-one, which I hope we can talk a little bit more about that. And I got to see her in action and see her managerial skills. And I got to say, Kalli, you can balance a lot at once. You were balancing, how many kids at once?
Depending on the program, up to 120.
Exactly, 120, and you were, and we're talking multiple classrooms, multiple programs going all at once, parents coming in, signing off consent forms. Truly incredible. Was something that absolutely, and right behind you, we have another special guest. Who is this?
This is Pippa. She is one of my 2 hairless cats.
Yes, and I love it because Kalli even brings in the kitties to the office once in a while. And first time I've ever held a hairless cat, and now I want one. So I know it's true. Now, do they take special maintenance? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so they get a bath once every couple weeks. Cyril does not like it. And then Pippa will kind of just sit there and handle it. Lots of nail and ear cleanings and stuff too, but they're so worth it.
Yeah, well, and so a shout out to the kitties, and hopefully they'll make another appearance. Okay, well, let's get to Teen Club. And that's the program that ultimately you manage with YSS. And so first question comes at you here. What is Teen Club? What's it all about? Can you give a quick description, a 411 of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in YSS. I've been in this job for 5 years now. So the first 2 or 3 years, I was actually on the ground in the program, running things, being the main person that was there. And then in the last couple of years, I've been promoted to oversee the program. So then I have staff that go in daily and do the program. And then I oversee, I make sure the kids are safe and happy, the staff are safe and happy. But Teen Club is awesome. I love going to work every single day. I don't think it's a job. It's more of I get to go and hang out with a bunch of really awesome kids. I actually told them that I was doing this tonight, and they thought I was going to come and talk crap about them.
No.
And so I immediately started laughing, and I was like, what would I even talk about? You guys are awesome. And they felt pretty special that they're going to be talked about tonight. But Teen Club is an after-school program. We meet 4 days a week right after school until 5 p.m. So we have early outs. We meet longer on those days. And the program is free for anyone to join. So we have a registration packet, but once that's filled out, they can come and go as they please. So a lot of kids at this age are in sports. Since we do serve middle school students, 6th through 8th grade, they are getting their first kind of feel of team sports and competition. So we do a lot of skill building around teamwork and sportsmanship, respect, that kind of stuff. But it's kind of a group of kids that may not have anywhere else to hang out together. So let's say they're not involved in sports. They don't go to a church group. They are not involved in other kind of school activities. So they come down, they hang out with me, and we do a bunch of different things together. So we do teenage outreach program lessons. So that means that we do top lessons, and those conversations can range between goal setting, decision making, puberty, which is always really fun to talk about with them. I like it more than they do, but it's information that they need to know about eventually.
Well, and you make it fun too, right?
I try to. I think humor is a really good way to teach kids, and so if I kind of giggle sometimes and they start giggling, we'll stop right there and we'll kind of address it. We'll say the words together. We have fun every single day. We do a lot of dodgeball. So later on, we'll talk about how you can become involved in Teen Club. So if you want to show off your dodgeball skills, we would love to have you come. And then we also do a lot of community service learning projects. So the kids have a feel of service. They have that sense of pride and ownership in their community. This is a really great example of what program could look like for anyone that wants to come out and kind of see what we do. So my very first, I think, month on site, I was by myself, freshly out of college, and I had a group of about 10 students. So we were doing our first service project, and I asked them, what do you guys want to do? What should it look like? And they said, well, I think we have a really big problem of stray animals in the community. And I was like, awesome, I love animals. You guys love animals. Let's talk about a project that can benefit it. And so what they wanted to do was take tranquilizer guns and shoot the animals, drive around on four-wheelers with cages on the back, put these animals in the cages, and then take these animals to an animal shelter. So that is my very first service project with these kids. And I've been trained to not really say no and definitely not to laugh. So I kind of there and I was like, how am I supposed to do this? What have I gotten myself into? And so I had asked, okay, after I took a second, I said, well, how are we going to get the guns, the tranquilizer guns, to shoot these animals? And they were like, duh, Callie, you call the police. And I was like, duh, of course, right? So I said, okay. And I said, who's calling the police for these guns? And they're like, Callie, you're going to do that for us, right? And I said, this is your project. So if you want to, we can talk about how to call them and ask these questions. And they were scared to death.
Oh, and that ended that.
Yeah. So instead, what they decided to do was host a talent show and then have admission if they wanted to, and then all of the proceeds would go to a local animal shelter.
Yay! So it still went back to the animals.
Yes. So the end goal was still met, but how we did it was much more safe. So we did not have a chance to ride on the back of four-wheelers, but I think the kids still enjoyed their project.
And that was what, 4 years ago?
5, yeah.
5 years ago. I can only imagine. And start thinking about it. If you got some more stories, because
I've got plenty. Oh yeah.
Oh, you got plenty, and I love it. And you know, when we're talking about Teen Club, as I understand, Teen Club isn't necessarily just in one location. So we're not talking about necessarily one spot that it's offered. What is the reach? Can I use that word? What's the reach of Teen Club? What does that look like?
Yeah, good question. So typically we have 2 sites that we operate. One of them is in Collins-Maxwell, so a small community on the eastern side of Story County. And then we used to serve Ballard for a handful of years, but we've seen kind of a drop in numbers and attendance. So we decided to reach out to a new district. I don't want to name drop them quite yet because things aren't set up, but there is another district in Story County that I just got the clear to go ahead and pursue, and they seem very excited as well. So hopefully we'll have a new site up and running within the next few weeks or a month or so.
Well, and again, not name dropping, but I know one of the things I learned about with Teen Club and Kids Club, because there's a Kids Club as well, when I first started with YSS, is, you know, throughout the programs, the reach, even in the past, has hit quite a few different schools. Mm-hmm. Correct. So we're talking about all throughout Story County, all throughout Boone County. And I can only imagine that right now with COVID, that has probably taken quite the impact. Or you, I mean, throw a curveball here. How have you adjusted with the COVID and with adapting to that?
Yeah, good question. So for a while, I did some of our lessons and our service projects online through Zoom. I found that to be pretty challenging. We had a lesson on calm and stillness and how to relieve stress. And I gave this lesson, and part of the group that I was looking at over Zoom, they were at the park hanging out with boys. So that lesson did not go super successfully, but I hope they got something from it. Collins-Maxwell this year, they changed their range of their schools. So elementary school is now kindergarten through 6th grade. And typically I serve 6th grade through 8th grade. So this year we adjusted to serve 7th grade through 9th grade. And then we always take in high school volunteers as well. So I have a couple sophomores and a senior, or a junior and a senior as well, I think. So we reach a lot of different numbers. And then I can speak a little bit about Kids Club.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so Kids Club is
real quick. So we're talking about Teen Club. That's kind of what Kalli's over right now, and we're talking about that. But there's another program, Kids Club, and we're not talking about the same thing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so Teen Club is over here, Kids Club is over here, but we work together like in the same office. All of the staff do, but our programming is very different. So shout out to Jennifer Schmidt, my direct supervisor. She is more than amazing. She's the reason why I'm still at YSS and thriving. So thanks, Jen. But Kids Club is really cool. It's a before and after school program. They also do full days for no school days. And then they also have full days in the summertime. Exciting news for them is they've opened up 3 new locations just this fall. So they serve Ogden, Boone, Roland Story, Madrid, South Hamilton, Gilbert, Ballard.
Ooh.
And then they will also be serving, they'll have a location on Iowa State campus too. So that's very exciting to add all of those new programs and then have all of our staff and our volunteers kind of spread out throughout the county so everyone can kind of see us.
And that's incredible. And I love kind of the teamwork because, and you both kind of lean on each other. I know, because you're in the same office, and when I come and visit you, and especially when you bring in the kiddies and I get to see them in the office, and you just mentioned Jennifer, and I know that you two lean on each other because I witnessed that when the summer program happened. So we're talking about school year right now, and that's a full-time job, more than a full-time job in itself, but it doesn't stop just in the school year. It goes throughout the summer as well. And there's an entire summer program, which I mentioned at the very beginning of this, that I had the honor of being a part of, and kind of volunteering. I did a little bit of everything. I think I was just kind of floating around, but wow, I witnessed the organization that you put together, Kalli, and that, you know, okay. So I'm going to stop talking now because this is your show. So you talk about the summer program, what it's like, what you offer, the places, all of that.
Yeah, so summertime is one of my favorite parts of my job. So we have several summer enrichment programs, as we call them. These started years before I even started thinking about working at YSS, but we serve multiple communities. We serve Ames, Collins, Maxwell, and Nevada. So this program started off as our first goal was to feed kids. So we know that sometimes in the school year, kids are on free and reduced lunch. And so in the summertime, how are they getting fed? How are they getting nutrition? So our first goal of this program was to feed kids. And then we thought, well, while we have them, why don't we educate them as well? So I have the awesome, oh, these are my teen club kids actually.
Oh, yay. Okay.
So sweet. They wanted to make a rainbow cake for Valentine's Day so that LGBT individuals could also feel loved.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, they're good kids. Yeah, but in the summertime, like I said, I have the opportunity of making a lot of fun curriculum to kind of hide and mask the learning that we do. So the kids don't have to, oh, I'm going to school again, but oh, I'm going to school and we're going to do this.
Was it like school?
No. So we focus on 4 different main components. PE. So we have partnered in the past with Boys and Girls Club, and they help provide a PE or a staff member to run PE. We have STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and math. And so in Nevada, we have an awesome, awesome partner. His name is Dave Swegel, and he works for Paragon. He actually owns the company, I think. But he brings in a team of his own staff every single day, and for a half day teaches early kindergarten through 4th grade all these awesome STEM projects. So Rusty had the opportunity to be in the STEM class one day. And Rusty, what'd you see?
Okay, there's cool things, and then there's things that make me jealous because I wish I would have been a part of this. Mm-hmm. So they created these rockets. And at first, when I heard about it, because I read about it first, they created these rockets and they learned all about flight. They learned about altitude. They learned about all this, and then they built rockets. They actually built these rockets. While learning about all this. And then the grand finale was that they would get to go out to the playground and each one would get to launch the rocket that they had built. Now, again, when watching this, and I'd popped into a couple of classes just because I had to check it out myself to see, what was going on. And I thought, okay, that's cool. So they're going to be these rockets that are going to shoot up and, they might go, 100 feet or something like that. No. Where'd you get these from? NASA? I mean, this is the coolest thing ever. So so I took this video right here from my phone and I had to slow it down because that's how fast these rockets are. So let's see if we can play this. See, I haven't even watched it. And that is in slow motion, folks.
Mm-hmm. The kids went insane as soon as their rockets landed on top of the school or in a tree. They thought it was the funniest thing.
Because then you don't see it. I think the video clips off, but then it shoots off a parachute when you can't even see the rocket is so far up there. You can't even, shoots off a parachute and comes back. And then you have the kids doing practically mosh pit to get back at the rocket. It was, and that was just one class of the summer program that you're talking about.
Yeah, so that was STEM. The kids always loved going to STEM. I think it wasn't this year because we had to cancel this past summer due to COVID, but the year before, I was really focused on field trips and getting the kids out in the community. So the kids were able to go to Madrid. There's a program called Gardening for Good, and the kids were able to plant and pick different things, and then all of the food that was harvested or planted eventually would be donated to the Iowa Food Bank. So it was really cool to have these kids do service and then see their service kind of spread out even further. Another really cool trip was we took the kids to Paragon in Nevada, and they have an ice cream machine that makes rolled ice cream. So the kids were able to do that, which was really fun. Laser printing was a part of it. Anything to kind of get the kids thinking and more STEM-like without them actually having to sit down and do math worksheets was really cool for us to do. Another station we had was literacy. So we have reading or Iowa Reading Corps members that come in, or Vista members, and they help facilitate that classroom for us. And it's a lot of spelling and writing your own stories and making it kind of come to life. And then our last station is one of my favorites besides PE, but it's our theme center. So every single year, the library, the National Library Organization, sorry, my cats are playing right now.
I love it. Side entertainment. Keep going.
Keep going. So the library chooses a theme, and then I choose to kind of follow along with that theme. So, for example, a couple of years ago, it was, oh goodness, might have to help me, something with music. Reading Libraries Rock, I think.
Okay.
So, I think you might have been in Ames for this one, but in our other two school districts, Nevada and Collins-Maxwell, I kind of took that on as a music emphasis. And so we actually had the kids make their own music videos during that class. So they would make their own instruments. They would do all of the planning to see what kind of props and costumes they wanted. They would be filmed. And then actually on the last week of program, we had all the families come in and watch these kids' videos kind of play out and show off all their hard work. So
I wish I was a part of that.
Yeah, it was really cool. So every single year we have a new theme. This year, this past summer, it was supposed to be Imagine Your Story. And so I took that on as fairy tales. And so the kids were actually going to create their own fairy tale and have plays. But unfortunately, COVID kind of happened and we weren't able to. But that's something that we're hopefully going to continue next summer, is throwing in some of those lessons and ideas, because I think the kids would really enjoy them.
And we were talking about the different locations. I mean, where I was with you at was Nevada. And I mean, my goodness. And in Nevada, where we were, so many kids. And then I would leave Nevada and I go to Ames the afternoon. And that had 300 kids. I don't know how many kids. I don't want to give a wrong number there.
Yeah. So these are some teen pictures, but my kiddos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Teen Club, and I know those are different. Teen Club in the summer that we're talking about. But and I went and I when I was in Ames, there was so many kids, all just having the time of their life. And since by trade I'm a professional musician, I got put with I think it was like a kindergarten through 4th grade, 5th grade musical called The Three Little Piggies. Mm-hmm. And I took on the technical director of it. So I ran the sound and I felt like, I wanted to bring in spotlights and dry ice. And I think that might have been a little overkill, but still, they had all their masks and the parents came in, what you were talking about too. I mean, just incredible. And going back to the Nevada during the summer, another thing that really impressed me being there was seeing the partners that really came to the table, and the community involvement. Give a shout out to some of those community folks that came in, because I remember
Yeah, we have the libraries. United Way is a huge partner. Gene Cressy and Malai Inquire are awesome. All the school districts, so Collins-Maxwell school team, and then Nevada school team, Ames school team. Nicole Kuhns was huge in Ames. Our Ames program, the last summer we operated, actually reached 367 students. So it was a lot of kids. Collins-Maxwell usually sees about 65. Nevada sees about 120. So I am very busy in the summer and I drive a lot, but it's really worth it. The libraries are awesome. The school cooks are awesome. There's a lot of key people that you wouldn't think of that you would need until they show up, and you're like, of course I need you.
And sorry it just dawned on me. The eye, like, were you talking about the eye? Oh my God. A van pulled up every single day.
Yeah. So let me talk about that. Yeah. So they're called Vision to Learn. Very, very, very cool program. They go around to different communities and schools that need it in the area. And they actually have, like you said, this huge van RV thing where the kids get pulled out by a couple at a time with the responsible volunteer, and they get walked into the van, and they have an eye test right there. So if they need glasses, they get fitted that day. They pick the pair of frames that they want. And then within 2 weeks, they send those glasses back to us and have the kids fitted, and they get a free pair of glasses. So
and they are walking around proud and happy, and they got,
it is adorable. Yes. And then we also had Micah come and do the I Smile program. Carly Beam is the one that came out for that, and she does dental screenings, and all the kids get a little tooth care kit, and they get very excited about that too.
Oh, I mean, people listening right now, we're talking with Kalli Kennel. She is ultimately the head of Teen Club. We were just talking about the summer programs, which is a little bit different than Teen Club, both kind of under the same umbrella of programs that we run with YSS. So many awesome things that people can get involved with and be a part of it. So let me also ask you this. Are there any unique community needs that Teen Club needs? Well, let me back up real quick. You were talking about those community service projects with Teen Club, and that's where they ultimately go out into the community. They pick their own project. They do. Are there any unique needs or any things that you've witnessed in the past that maybe folks listening could cash in on, help out with?
Yeah. I have a kind of a cool example story, and then I can kind of share more about what we really need. But a handful of years ago, the Maxwell Community Vet experienced a loss. And so the kids decided to fundraise and bring some money toward that family to help them with that. And then maybe a year later, we had done another project to involve animals, and we're looking for donations to donate to a local shelter. And so we called up the vet again and said, hey, I'm not sure if you remember us, but this is what we're looking for. And they were able to donate dog food and toys, and they gave all the kids a tour of everything. So what we really appreciate and what we really need from people is ideas for service. So the kids love doing service. They love getting their hands dirty. I actually used to foster puppies through an organization. And so I would bring the puppies in, teach the kids about puppy care. And then one Saturday we went to PetSmart, and we were able to kind of show off the puppies and help get them adopted. I think every single kid who went that day cried because they wanted a puppy too. But it's really cool to have people say, hey, that's a really cool group. What can you guys help me with? I need this done. I might need this done. And the kids jump all over that. Typically, we like to serve in their area. So in like Collins, Maxwell, we'll serve in Collins, Maxwell, Nevada areas. And we do have a big kind of spread, a big impact. So
well, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so the kids know the program as Impact because they make an impact in their community. So I have been keeping some stats. So I've had 86 kids enrolled. This is just in Collins Maxwell. So scratch the other programs. This is just for that one site. And to kind of give you an idea of how big that community is, their high school graduating class is between like 20 and 30. So we've had 86 kids enrolled in 5 years. We've had over about 1,700 volunteer hours done by the kids in that program. We've had 13 high school volunteers, and we've had about 1,400 volunteer hours from 67 different college students. So I am only one person. When I'm on site and I have up to 25 kids, I get a little bit insane. And so I realized that a big part of my job needs to be how to include volunteers and relieve that stress off of me. So another shout out goes to Farmhouse Fraternity on Iowa State campus. They have the most genuine, respectable men I've probably ever met. So that's a really cool partnership. I've had a couple of volunteers from there that have volunteered for the last 4 years. So the kids have gotten attached, I've gotten attached, they've gotten attached. And then Youth Sports Outreach is another club on campus where they like to volunteer and then fundraise. So I actually had an intern that was from that program. That was my intern last spring. And they have sent dozens of volunteers as well. And then last year, they even hosted a 3-on-3 basketball tournament on campus. And all the proceeds went to buy sports equipment for my program. So they are just there's so many amazing people. So if there's anything that anyone needs in their community that my kids can do or the kids we serve can do, please let us know.
Okay, so you just talked about kind of asking the community for advice on needs and how creative. I mean, and the creative things that, and I got to tell you, the kids have got to learn a lot through that process too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot about management skills, about budgeting, about finance. I mean, about community relations.
Mm-hmm.
But is there any needs that you have, Kalli, from Teen Club, would you say, that you would like to put out there for people listening?
Yeah, so right now I actually need 2 staff that will be paid and get to work with me and Rusty and my team. So please apply at yss.org. I really want someone to come in, observe programs, see what they think, get trained, and then join our team. And then, of course, I always need volunteers. So if you don't have 20 hours a week to give the program to work with us, do you have 2 hours on a Monday night to come see us after school? So we love volunteers. We love the kids love volunteers. They get so bored of me. So please come and hang out with them, play dodgeball.
I mean, what? Come on, that's not it. That I don't want to say that's not a job, because there's management in it. There's paperwork, I'm sure. But how awesome is that? To get to be around the kids, to get to do these, shoot rockets, but to be able, I mean, again, going back to something I witnessed was when the science, I believe it was a science center. I don't want to say the wrong partnership, but there was a partnership that came in. They poured dry ice over. It was like a dry ice kind of and it was during one of the summer programs, I believe in Nevada.
That was Paragon.
What's that?
I know Nevada did it in Paragon. I know Nevada did it through Paragon.
Okay, so it was through Paragon, and oh my goodness, you should have seen the expression. They were so excited to learn about this because they did a big exhibit in the gymnasium at first. And then they were also, another class was doing a video project where they were learning about how to interview people and actually put together a video project. They walked out, caught the professional going back to their vehicle, their van, and said, "Can we interview you real quick, if that's okay?" And they were so polite. And the lady was like, "Absolutely." And so they interviewed her. She was so impressed that she got out another thing of the dry ice or something, went back inside, poured it out on the rug for them. I don't even know if you know this. It was I have video of that too with the rocket. It was so cool that I was taking video of everything. And that, again, is just one of the impacts that you were talking about, of all of these different types of impacts that go on. And there you go, folks. If you want to be a part of this Teen Club, the summer programs, be a part of this whole mission here, you can go to yss.org /get involved, or you can also just go to yss.org, click on the careers. And Kalli, you said you have 2 positions right now?
Yes.
And those are paid?
Yes.
You get to be paid for this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it feels like a steal, like a win-win. You get paid and you also have a lot of fun. So
yeah, so absolutely. And get the word out there. If you know of somebody else who might be interested in this, please put that word out there. So Kalli, before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to put out there, that you want to let mention to folks, that you ask of people, stories? Because I love your story. You're the best storyteller ever.
I've got stories on stories. These kids keep me laughing every day. First, I want to give a shout out to Carol and Lisa. Hi, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. And then another really cool story. A couple of years ago, I had a pair of twins in my program. Initially, they were triplets. 2 of the kids got cancer, and one of them did pass away when she was very young. So the 2 other girls, one was a survivor of cancer, and the third triplet didn't get it, but they came to my program. They were the quirkiest, funniest kids I have probably ever met. They're so dear to my heart still, but they had wanted to do a project that would benefit the Blank Children's Hospital because they spent so much time there growing up. And so they have a huge passion for art, as a lot of the kids in the program do. And so for, I think, 4 or 5 months, the kids worked on art projects, and then we were able to work with the school and multiple other partners and put on an art show. So we had an art show in the gym. Parents came out, teachers came out, community members came out. They purchased art. They looked around. We had snacks and refreshments. Farmhouse came out to support us. and the kids ended up raising about $400. And so from that, they were able to go and make a list of what they wanted to purchase for the hospital. And then we took a field trip to Walmart, and the kids got to actually kind of see all the money being spent in action, and then we deliver it to the hospital. So our projects can sometimes take 6-7 months, or sometimes they can take a week and a half. So if you have any project in mind and it might be too much for us or maybe not enough, we can definitely add our own personal flair and spin on it and make it happen. These kids are great. So shout out to the kids, of course. I mean, without them, I wouldn't be here. So they're amazing.
And you know, Kalli, if there's people that maybe watch this now, if they're tuning in live, or maybe they watch it later on, because everybody needs to share this video, get the word out there. And maybe they can't volunteer their time. They can't volunteer. You know, I'm sure donations are appreciated, or financially investing for all the resources it takes to pull these things off. Correct?
Yes.
So, and I know that you can find out, again, by just going to Teen Club at YSS.org. Find out more on the website there. You can find out how to donate, or, you know, how to partake, if you will, and to be a part of this. And my gosh, the amount, I say this on so many YSS Let's Talk, Kalli, the community effort it takes to pull off so many of our programs. And I think Teen Club is an exemplary example of it. How many people have you just mentioned, or organizations, that it's taken to pull this off? The libraries of communities, individuals of communities. I think you had mentioned United Way. I mean, of course, the kids, the parents, the shout out to all of you out there for being a part of this, and ultimately really, really making brighter futures. So this is Kalli Kennel. She's speaking with me right now. She is our YSS Prevention Services Coordinator, specifically with Teen Club. And, you know, I'm gonna call you a legend at YSS, because you are. Everybody loves Kalli. And we love your hairless kitties too.
Of course. Thank you. Yes.
Of course. So thank you so much for being on tonight. And again, if you want to find out more about Teen Club or the program, just go to YSS.org. That is the easiest way to figure out about all these programs. And again, a huge shout out to all of the people who have ultimately made this program possible. And one more plug, two staff, that Kalli is asking for a paid position with all the awesomeness that you just heard. So, and wait, who is this? Is this the same kitty?
This is Cyril. So if you come and join my team and work with me, then you'll get to meet this cutie too.
You are shameless. I love it.
Oh yeah.
That was a bribe, but hey, that will work too. So, all right. Well, folks, before we let you go, I want to give another big shout out to YSS. You know, Kalli and I are honored, proud to work for YSS, all of the services that YSS does. And again, the reason I'm giving a big shout out is because breaking news just voted best in Story County by the Ames Tribune on 3 different categories. And I believe we have a quick little video to show for you here.
The finalists for Best Nonprofit are Boys and Girls Club of Story County, Overflow Thrift Store, YSS, and the winner is YSS.
Yay! Well, that was a short video, but there we go. There we go. YSS, again, congratulations to all of the hundreds of employees and the countless volunteers and that community support that I was talking about that makes everything possible to serve the community and the youth and everybody that is involved. Every single Thursday night, 7 p.m., we are here for YSS Let's Talk. I invite you to tune in next Thursday. I'm really excited to have Elizabeth Patton and Michael Davis to talk with me about our meal program from IHYC. And if you don't know what IHYC is, you can go to yss.org, giving a lot of addresses here, but yss.org. You can go back, you can click and watch an entire program about IHYC, which means the Iowa Homeless Youth Center. And we're going to be talking specifically about the meal program and again, hearing from Elizabeth and Michael and talking about the impact that has and maybe some of their needs and how they can also additionally service the community. So make sure that you tune in there, 7 p.m. Next Thursday night. And hey, if you like this video, like it, the biggest thing, share it. Get the word out there to other folks so they can become a part of all this awesomeness that Kalli's talked about tonight. So Kalli, Kennel, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rusty.
This has been awesome to talk to you. Just awesome.
This is good.
Seeing you in the office so much, but I tell you what. So Kalli, Kennel, again, thank you so much. And until next week, stay safe. And again, please share this video. Have a good night.